All right. So, yeah, for wondering what happened, I got a message that said that OBS has crashed. Yeah, I was using OBS, or I am right now again. I usually use OBS because I add the text to the screen, right? Well, out of nowhere, like a RKO out of nowhere, I got a message saying that OBS has crashed. And my face cam froze. Okay? But here's the weird thing. My face cam froze and I can't change anything. But I can click on stop recording and it was still recording after my webcam froze. But I decided to click on stop recording because just in case if somehow, because I kept talking for a bit, but I decided to click stop recording just in case if as soon as I got that OBS crash message, it automatically ended the video, and that's exactly what happened. The video already ended, already stopped recording, even though I didn't, even though, listen, it's hard to explain. I'm so bad at explaining certain things, but look at this. So if you're watching the video, you probably know what I'm talking about. Oh, wow, it focuses. That's awesome. So when I got that OBS crash message, okay, this was still going. Okay? And so I'm like, wait, am I still being recorded? Is this still being recorded? But I decided to play it safe by clicking on stop recording. And as soon as I got that OBS crash message, the recording stopped, even though this was still going. Okay? So that's what happened. That came out of nowhere. That's very strange. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. But when I reopened OBS, I updated it. So maybe it needed the update. So hopefully this won't happen again. Because if you look right here, this is different. It has these arrows. It used to have 3 dots on the left side, but now it's like a drop down. So yeah, by the way, look what time it is. Yay, it's almost 4 a.m. At least it's not almost 6 a.m. So at least I'm doing this earlier, but I'm still not going to get much sleep regardless. However, I did took a 2.5 hour nap. Yeah, I took a 2.5 hour nap because I only slept for 3 hours the other day after that failed take recording of this episode. All right, let's resume. So I'm going to try and put the clips together, but that might take a while. That might take a lot of time, but if I can't, then I'm just going to have to export the video. So, yeah. All right. Let's resume here. So, Austin Dillon, stock race car driver and grandson of Richard Childress. He made his NASCAR debut in 2008. He won NASCAR Rookie of the Year in the Truck Series in 2010 and the Truck Series Championship in 2011. Before fame, he attended High Point University. Trivia: he became the nationwide series champion for the Truck Series in 2013. Family life: he has a younger brother named Ty Dillon, who's also a race car driver. He married NFL cheerleader Whitney Ward on December 9, 2017. Associated with, in 2011, he began driving the number 3 car at the NASCAR Nationwide Series. The number previously made was famous by the great Dale Earnhardt. I do actually remember his number 3. So I don't know much about Austin Dillon because there was a time where I did watch quite a bit of NASCAR. I kind of got into it. Uh, I don't really watch NASCAR much anymore, but I do remember quite a bit of the NASCAR drivers' names, and Austin Dillon is one of them. So, yeah, that's all I can say. I really go by the names that I've heard of before. Some of them I know a lot about them, but some hardly. Austin Dillon, I don't know much about. I just remember his name, and I do remember his number 3. So, yeah. Okay. Well, guys, this is gonna sound weird. It's now 4 a.m. I'm gonna watch some Jay Onright Sports Center, mainly for the hockey segments. And yeah, TSN is mainly where I get my hockey highlights. So hopefully I'll be able to wrap this episode pretty soon and then go straight to sleep. So yeah, I'm not making this up. I'm being for real. So yeah. All right. Next is all right. We got a familiar name. Wait. No. I'm skipping one. I almost skipped this one. Okay, here we go. Nick Kyrgios. What a name. Tennis player. But I think he's not active. Australian tennis player, most famous for upsetting Rafael Nadal on his way to the quarterfinals at the 2014 Wimbledon Championships. He was also the singles champion at the 2013 Australian Open. Well, juniors. They didn't put that part. You got to say juniors. You can't just say he won the 2013 Australian Open. Before fame, he attended Durham Milan College and won his first ITF title at 15 years old. Trivia, he earned a scholarship to the Australian Institute Sport as a basketball player and is a huge Boston Celtics fan. Yeah, I noticed I would see him wear a Boston Celtics jersey. Family life, he is of Greek and Malaysian descent. His sister Halima has worked as an actress. From 2015 to 2017, he was in a relationship with Ala Tomljanovic. I did not know that. She's also an Australian player. Associated with, he defeated Benjamin Becker at the 2014 Australian Open. Well, if you've watched tennis a couple years ago or so, mainly the late 2010s and the early 2020s, Nick Kyrgios was sort of must-see TV because of his behavior, the way he behaves on the tennis court. And I did not like him at the time because I'm like, okay, why is this guy acting like this? Why is he acting like this? You know, he's like a drama queen, you know? I've seen him like smashes his rackets and argues with the chair umpire, kind of like John McEnroe did in the old days. But then something made me start to like him. I don't know. It's hard. It's weird, you know? Somehow I started to like him. And I think more people started to like him. He's not as he's not as crazy as he was years ago. But then he started, he was with, what's his name? Tanasi Kokonakis. Yeah. Tanasi Kokonakis was his doubles partner at the 2022 Australian Open doubles championships. They won, yeah. And then later that year, he wore a cap. He wore his cap backwards, and I thought he looked really cool wearing his cap backwards. And he was actually at the Wimbledon finals in 2022. Now, I will say this, though. He did not have to play his semifinal match. He got a walkover because he was supposed to face Rafael Nadal at the semifinals at the 2022 Wimbledon Championships. But Nadal got injured in his previous match, his quarterfinal match. I forgot who he beat. I think he beat an American player. So I'm like, oh my gosh, we're going to get Nick Kyrgios against Rafael Nadal in the semifinals, but that didn't happen. So Nick Kyrgios got a walkover to the finals where he met Novak Djokovic, and he lost. Novak was a clear favorite to win, and at the U.S. Open, he went to the quarterfinals, which is really good. He lost to... what's his name? Karen Khachanov, the Russian player. And after the match, he lost. He was smashing his racket. He was unhappy with himself. And then, unfortunately, injuries started to occur on him. So while he was an inactive player, he actually became a color commentator. Yeah, and I thought he was really good as a commentator. And pretty much ever since 2023, he hasn't been playing much due to the injuries. These injuries suck. They really do. And some injuries, some athletes, they get hurt. Listen, every athlete gets hurt, but some athletes, they get hurt like all the time. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, some baseball pitchers are like that. They get hurt like all the time, you know. So, yeah, recent years Nick Kyrgios hasn't been playing due to injuries. But last year, he came back. He played quite a bit of matches. And it was during the holidays of last year. He faced Aryna Sabalenka. Now, Aryna Sabalenka, this is crazy. Nick Kyrgios, okay, I'm going to read the Wikipedia article. On December 28, 2025, Kyrgios, who was the men's singles world number 671, I almost said 6'7", and Aryna Sabalenka, who was the women's singles world number 1 player at the time, contested an exhibition match promoted as the Battle of the Sexes at the Coca-Cola Arena in Dubai. The event was organized by their shared management agency, Evolve. The match was played as a 3-set contest under modified rules. The dimensions of Sabalenka's side of the court was reduced by 9%, and both players were restricted to a single serve point. In the event of a tie, a 10-point match tiebreak would have been played. According to Evolve, the courtside adjustment was intended to reflect average movement speed differences between men and women. A quote on that. Kyrgios defeated Sabalenka in straight sets 6-3, 6-3. I did watch some of that match. I didn't watch it live. I didn't watch the full match. But I heard about it, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to watch the highlights. And then I saw a comment saying that Nick Kyrgios wasn't really trying his best. He had Sabalenka running all over the court, and I'm just like, wow. So, yeah. Let's see, how's he doing in 2026? It says continued limited schedule. Okay. Yeah, and you know, he's Australian. At the Australian Open, he withdrew from the men's singles, saying that his body was not ready to go to the distance in 5-set matches. Instead, choosing to focus on doubles with Kokkinakis. Okay. Yeah. So it is what it is. Nick Kyrgios is some some kind of player, man. You know, not many players act like him. Yeah. So let's see here. Playing style. Kyrgios has been described as having an unusually aggressive game. While growing up, he was overweight, asthmatic, and has stated that he, quote, had to work out a way to be more aggressive than the average player. Oh, yeah, sometimes he does that underarm serve. And speaking of his serve, I remember watching him 2022. This is how he served, okay? So let me just I have a ball right here. It's so funny, I have a ball under my microphone. Well, it's not a tennis ball, it's a squishy baseball. So if you're watching the video, this is how he sets up his serve. I don't have a racket, but just pretend I'm holding an invisible racket while I bounce the ball. All right, so this is how he served. This is him setting it up. I remember he did this. All right. When I saw that, I'm like, what the heck? It's like he was rocking the baby. What the heck? That was kind of funny, and every time he does it, it kind of makes me laugh. But let me tell you, he has a great, powerful serve. He really does. He is big. You know, usually the bigger the player, the more powerful. That can be true in some cases. You know, so. I remember John McEnroe said something about the guy on here. Let's see here. Let's see here. It says Kyrgios produced some of the best performances of his career at Wimbledon in 2022. After losing to Djokovic in the final, Kyrgios said, quote, "It's taken me 10 years, almost 10 years of my career to finally get the point of playing for a Grand Slam and coming up short, but my level is right there." When asked if this had made him hungry for more Grand Slam finals, he replied, "No, it was exhausting," provoking laughter among the crowd. Yeah, tennis is an exhausting sport. It is crazy. It is crazy, man. Tennis is crazy. There are a lot of crazy players. Um, let's see. Okay, yeah, John McEnroe. So John McEnroe has also praised Kyrgios' talent in late 2018 on the Seven Network Sunday night show in Australia. McEnroe said that Kyrgios is, quote, the most talented player he's seen in the last 10 years. Wow. But that Kyrgios may, quote, run himself out if he continues not to commit himself to tennis. While hosting a radio call show during the 2021 Wimbledon Championships on BBC Radio 5 Live, McEnroe stated that if he could choose any player on the court on the current tour to coach, um, he would pick Kyrgios. Wow. Nick Kyrgios, he's not, he hasn't had a lot of success, but man, I'm looking at his Wikipedia article. There is a lot on there. Yeah, wow. He has been fined quite a bit of times for, being, just look up Nick Kyrgios' highlights of him, like, getting mad or, you know, smashing his racket. Um, yeah, it's crazy. Uh, so hopefully he gets better. Hopefully, I mean, yeah, I would like to see him be back competing, but you obviously want to be 100% before you want to keep competing. Some people, they only do doubles instead of singles, and I, I heard that you can have a longer career in doubles than singles because in doubles you don't have to run around as much because you share half a court with someone. So um, that makes sense. You know what's crazy? Nick Kyrgios hasn't played in the French Open since 2017. He has missed the French Open ever since. Wow, he must not be good on clay court. But he's been absent on the big Grand Slams for the past couple of years, so yeah, we know something's up. Um, okay, I know I spend way too much time on Nick Kyrgios, but Nick Kyrgios is one interesting player a couple years ago. So yeah, we're gonna move on to the next birthday. See, I know quite a bit about Kyrgios, unlike Austin Dillon. Next birthday. This might be the longest birthday segment in the history of KSN because we got more birthdays to cover. Corey Seager. Corey Seager. Now I hope famous birthdays is going to say what I want to say, so I'm going to read the birthday article first. Shortstop who was selected 18th overall in the 2012 MLB draft by the Los Angeles Dodgers. He went on to win the National League Rookie of the Year award in 2016. He helped the Dodgers win the 2020 World Series and was named World Series MVP after hitting .400 with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs in the series. He won his second World Series MVP award in 2023 after leading the Texas Rangers to a title. Yes, that part I was hoping famousbirthday.com would say. Before fame, he first played professionally in the Pioneer League's Ogden Raptors in 2012, hitting .309 in 46 games. Trivia: he decommit from the University of South Carolina to sign with the Dodgers. Family life, his brothers Kyle and Justin were also drafted into the MLB. Seager married his high school sweetheart, Madison Van Ham, on December 5th, 2020. Associated with, he and outfielder Jock Peterson both came up through the Dodgers organization. So yeah, Corey Seager, I do remember him playing for the Dodgers along with Jock Peterson. And then, yes, I obviously remember when he won another World Series MVP in 2023 with the Texas Rangers. Hey, that was the first World Series you watched, 5-Tayer. I think he is still with the Rangers. Let's look him up. Yep, he is still with the Rangers. What about Jock Peterson? I know he's no longer with the Dodgers. Remember, he went to the San Francisco Giants. That was so weird for him because, the Giants are the Dodgers' big rivalry. He is with... Wait, is he also with the Rangers? Oh, he is. So that's awesome. He gets to reunite with... Okay, he's been with the Rangers since last season, so he got to reunite with Corey Seager. That's cool. Yeah, the 2023 Texas Rangers, they won the World Series, and they were undefeated on the road at the postseason, which is crazy. With Bruce Bochy. It's hard to bet against Bruce Bochy in the postseason, that's for sure. The final belated birthday. Is Arch Manning. Yeah, I mentioned him earlier in this episode, right? Arch Manning. See, I go by the most popular. I saved the most popular athlete for last. Arch Manning, born in Louisiana, just like Peyton and Eli and Cooper. Cooper is Arch's father, right? And Archie is Arch's grandfather. Football quarterback known as a member of the Manning football family. His uncles are Peyton Manning and Eli Manning. He committed to the Texas Longhorns for college in 2022. He stands at 6'3" and weighs approximately 204 pounds. Before fame, he attended Isidore Newman High School or Newman School in New Orleans, Louisiana. Trivia, he was the number 1 ranked pro-style quarterback in the class of 2023, according to 24/7 Sports. At a young age, highlights of him passing gained attention to Twitter. Family life, his father is Cooper Manning, his grandfather is Archie Manning. Associated with, in July 2021, he was babysitting while he took a FaceTime call from the University of Texas head coach Steve Sarkisian. Wow, that is interesting. So yeah, Arch, so at first he was the backup quarterback behind Quinn Ewers for the Longhorns. After Quinn got drafted, I think it was last year's draft. Yeah, last year's college football season, Arch Manning became the new starting quarterback. And people had high expectations for him. And I wished him well. The football Manning is awesome, So, Arch Manning didn't play as well of a season he did last year, but he played pretty well towards the end. I remember he played much better towards the end, so he will play one more season with the Longhorns, and I hope he does well. Why not? He's a Manning, So I wish him the best. Because I remember watching Peyton and Eli. Yeah, I remember watching their careers. And when they were in their mainly kind of towards the end of their career, like their last couple of years of their amazing career. Yeah. All right, today's birthdays. First, we have Drew Gulak, pro wrestler. American professional wrestler who made his WWE debut on WWE Raw in 2016. He is known for his fans of his signature move, the Gulak Attack, and his finishing move, the Gulak. I like that. That's funny. Before fame, he attended Northeast High School in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Trivia: before signing with the WWE, he was a champion in promotions like Combat Zone Wrestling, Evolve, and DDT Pro Wrestling. Family life: he is the older brother of wrestler Rory Gulak, associated with, in his first WWE Raw match, he teamed up with Lince Dorado. Alright, I don't think he's in the WWE anymore, but I remember when I was watching it back then, he was an active pro wrestler. Okay, he's currently performing on the independent circuit. So he left WWE in 2024. Wow, just a couple years ago. Okay. All right, that's all I can say on him. We're going to move on to the next one. That is, let me put it on here. David Freese, former baseball player, MLB third baseman who propelled the St. Louis Cardinals to a World Series championship in 2011. He was traded to the Anaheim. I don't say Los Angeles Angels. I say Anaheim Angels. He was traded to the Anaheim Angels prior to the 2014 season and to the Pittsburgh Pirates in 2016. In 2018, he was signed with the LA Dodgers. Before fame, he turned down a scholarship to take a year off from baseball after graduating from Lafayette High School in Wildwood, Missouri. Trivia: he didn't become a full-time MLB starter until 2011, when he was 28 years old. Family life: he was born to a guy. He was born to Guy and Lynn Freese. That's his parents. Okay. That's weird when someone's name is Guy. In 2016, he married Marin Freese. Freese, right there. Associated with, he won the 2011 World Series alongside star slugger Albert Pujols. Then rejoined Pujols on the Angels about 2 years later. Yeah, because Albert Pujols did play for the Cardinals, and then he played for the Angels. All right, cool. Yeah, like I remember watching, like old baseball highlights, and wasn't it David Freese that hit that home run in Game 6 of the 2011 World Series, and Joe Buck said, "We will see you tomorrow night"? He said that because that's what his father said, that's how a walk-off homer forces a Game 7, and that's what happened. All right, next birthday. This is today's birthday, excuse me. I forgot to change that part. So, Drew Gulak and David Freese's birthdays are today, April 28th. The next birthday. Next birthday is Blake Bortles. Blake Bortles. Quarterback who was selected 3rd overall in the 2014 NFL Draft by the Jacksonville Jaguars. He played at the University of Central Florida from 2010 to 2013 and was a first-team All-AAC selection in 2013. I forgot what All-AAC stands for. I know ACC, but not AAC. Oh, All-American? I think that's what that stands for. The All-American Conference. Before fame, he attended Oviedo High School, where he threw more than 5,500 yards during his career. Trivia. In his final game for UCF, he led the school to an upset over Baylor in the Fiesta Bowl and was named the MVP of the game. Family life, he was born to Rob and Susie Bortles and has a brother named Colby. Associated with, he and Deontay Culpepper both starred as quarterbacks at UCF. So I don't remember Blake Bortles playing for college football, but I do remember him playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now I'm going to look him up to see if he's still playing. No, he's a former. Okay. So that's the thing about the thing I don't really like about the famous birthdays is that they don't say that he's a current or former. So Blake Bortles was with the Jacksonville Jaguars from 2014 to 2018. Then played for the LA Rams in 2019, Denver Broncos in 2020. Got traded back to the Rams later in 2020, the COVID season. And he played for both the Green Bay Packers and the New Orleans Saints in 2021. And then he retired in 2022. So, yeah. All right. Next is another football player. Denzel Ward. So Denzel Ward, football player who's best known for playing for the NFL's Cleveland Browns. He also played college football at Ohio State University. Before fame, he graduated from Nordonia High School in Macedonia, Ohio. Trivia: he has 380,000 followers on Instagram. Family life: his parents are Nicole and Paul Ward. Associated with, both he and Joe Hayden played for the Cleveland Browns. Okay, so I'm gonna look him up to see if he's still with the Cleveland Browns. Famous birthday says he's best known. Okay, he's still with the Browns. The Brownies. Okay. So, the only thing I remember about Denzel Ward is actually from someone else. Gus Johnson. We know Gus Johnson on Fox calling Big Noon games on Fox. Well, there was a play where Denzel Ward played for Ohio State at the time in 2017, I think it was. He made a huge hit. Oh, I found the video. Maryland's wide receiver. And listen what Gus Johnson said.
Wardenschlager to the sideline, caught. First down. Woo! What a hit! Denzel Ward! You got barbecue back there? And you didn't invite me? Hurt my feelings!
Okay, y'all. Oh, sorry. What the? What's going on? Hello? Can y'all hear me now? Okay, cool. Y'all heard that? Gus Johnson, you got barbecue back there and you didn't invite me? Hurt my feelings. Okay, for some reason, after I played that audio, I don't know why, I felt like my microphone was muted for a while. I hope it wasn't. But I guess I'll find out on my own. Because I hit the mute button on the microphone, and for some reason I don't really remember doing that right before I played the Gus Johnson call on You Got Barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me. Hurt my feelings. Gus Johnson is awesome. So, yeah, that's the only thing I can remember about Denzel Ward. I mean, I know he played for Ohio State, but because I remember Gus Johnson said, Denzel Ward, and then he says, you got barbecue back there, you know? I don't know where he got that from. You got barbecue back there and you didn't invite me? Jeez. Only Gus Johnson would say something like that, man. It's like, he can be like a pro wrestling announcer, you know? You know, Jim Ross can be like that, you know, because Jim Ross is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, pro wrestling announcer of all time. And he's got his own barbecue sauce. Mm-hmm. Grillin' JR's barbecue sauce. Okay, 2 more birthdays to go here. Wow, this birthday segment is over 40 minutes. Isn't that crazy? Matt Chapman, another baseball player. I don't know if he's still playing. He's 33. Okay, professional infielder that was drafted by the Oakland Athletics during the first round of the 2014 MLB draft. He was an All-Star, an American League Gold Glove winner, and a Platinum Glove winner in 2019. Before fame, he began his professional career playing for the Athletics' rookie affiliate team, the AZL Athletics. Trivia, he made his major league debut playing against the New York Yankees on June 15, 2017. Family life, he is a native of Victorville, California, associated with, in 2019, he recorded the second best fielding percentage in athletics history by a third baseman, only behind Eric Chavez. He was high school teammates with Nolan Arenado. I do remember Nolan Arenado. Let me look up Matt Chapman to see if he's still playing. And he is. He is a third baseman for the San Francisco Giants. I don't know much about him, but I just remember his name. That's the main thing. So I don't know if I should list athletes that I don't know much about, but I heard their names. I don't know, but hey, it's nice to know a little bit about them, you know. One more birthday. Actually, well, this is the last birthday of today's birthday, but we got one more person to talk about after this person. Anthony Volpe, the most popular athlete born on April 28th. As John Sterling would say, Anthony Volpe. Wow, he is he's only a couple of weeks older than me, Anthony Volpe. So, born in New York City. Okay. All right. So Anthony Volpe, professional baseball player and athlete who is recognized for playing the shortstop position for the New York Yankees. He made his professional debut during the 2023 season. He has accumulated over 20,000 followers on his Twitter page as a result of his baseball fame. Before fame, he played baseball while he was a student at the Dillon School. Trivia, he played collegiate baseball at Vanderbilt University. Now, Vanderbilt's usually pretty good in college baseball. He was selected 30th overall in the 2019 MLB draft. In May of 2023, he scored a home run and stole 2 bases during the same game. His Anthony Volpe Instagram page features photos of him with his teammates during games, as well as occasional photos from his daily life. He has amassed over 360,000 followers on the platform. He posts about baseball news on his Twitter page. Wow, that's awesome that he scored a home run and stole 2 bases during the same game. That is unusual, right? The same game. Family life. His parents, Michael and Isabel, are both doctors. Wow. Associated with, he played baseball with Jack Leader at the Dillon School. But I think Anthony Volpe got injured last year, didn't he? Let's see. Oh, we got some top stories as soon as I look them up on Google. Anthony Volpe has a shoulder injury. Man, let me tell you, these athletes, man, they get hurt a lot. It seems like baseball players, they get hurt the most. I don't know why. Well, maybe it's because of their muscles, their arms. It's crazy. But he's still with the Yankees. Okay. Okay, so I'm looking at his Wikipedia article. It says on October 14 of 2025, following the Yankees' elimination in the postseason, Volpe underwent surgery to repair a partially torn left labrum, which he had played part of the year with. Now, 2026, Volpe began his season on the injured list to continue recovering from the sounds like I said soldier surgery. No, shoulder surgery he previously had. On April 14, Volpe began his rehab assignment in AA Somerset. Okay. So that was, how many birthdays again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 birthdays. And there's no, normally I would, sometimes I would do happy early birthday, but because I'm doing 3 episodes a week, I don't have to do happy early birthday. But, wow. This is like about 50 minutes of birthdays. This has to be a record. I mean, I took quite a bit of time talking about Nick Kyrgios because out of all these athletes, yeah, I know Nick Kyrgios the most. Okay. Now, there is one more birthday that I want to talk about. But this person is no longer alive. Okay. But this person's birthday is today. Because famous birthdays, they would talk about, they would put, people that are no longer alive on the list. Well, this person's birthday is today, and this athlete's name is Margo Dydek, or Dydek. I'm just going to call her Margo. So Margo basically was known as being the tallest professional female basketball player in the world. So I'm going to read her famous birthday article. So she was born in Poland, so a Polish player. Polish professional basketball player who was famous for being the tallest professional female basketball player in the world. Standing at 7'2". Wow. For a female. That's crazy. I mean, that being said, a lot of today's NBA players aren't they below 7 feet? You know, they're about 6'7", 8 or 9, or 6'10". There's not that many 7-footer basketball players, right, in the NBA. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I just, because like LeBron James, isn't he 6'8" or 6'9"? You know, very tall, but not quite 7 feet. You know. But Margo was 7'2". Like, holy crap. I don't know who the second tallest player, female basketball. I don't know if she was also 7 feet, and maybe I'll have to look her up. So Margo played center position. Yeah, normally the tallest player on the team plays center, such as Shaquille O'Neal. When he was playing, he was the tallest player. And isn't the tallest male player right now is Victor Wembanyama, 7'4"? I feel like he is. He's also a center. So Margo played center position for multiple teams in the WNBA and was a coach for the Northside Wizards in the Queensland Basketball League. Before fame, in May 1998, she made her first trip to the United States for the WNBA pre-draft camp. She was drafted first overall in the 1998 WNBA draft by the Utah Stars, with 2 Z's at the end. What the heck? I don't know if that's still a team in the WNBA. Trivia in 1999. Okay, so she was, holy crap, she was only a teenager, like in her mid-teens in the late 90s. No, never mind. She was in her mid-20s, excuse me. She was about my age in the late 90s. What the heck? Famous birthdays put he. It's supposed to be she. Come on now. She was awarded the Polish Gold Cross of Merit. She was inducted into the FIBA or FIBA Hall of Fame in 2019. Family life. Her elder sister, Katarzyna, used to play for the Colorado Explosion. Her younger sister, Marta, played basketball at the University of Texas, El Paso, and played in Spain professionally in the 2000s. She was married to David Twigg from 2008 until she died in 2011. They have 2 sons, Alexander and David Twigg. She died while she was pregnant with her 3rd child. Associated with both she and Michael Jordan were inducted into the FIBA Hall of Fame. So, I'm sure a lot of people looked this up. Who was the tallest male basketball player of all time? Who was the tallest female basketball player of all time? And I remember her name, Margo, okay? 5-Terror, do you do that too? If you're still listening, do you look this stuff up? Who was the tallest man in the world ever? I know. The answer to that is Robert Wadlow. It's crazy. Look him up. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I like to look this stuff up. I even looked up who was the oldest living person in the world. You know, it's crazy. I know. I'm kind of weird for doing that, but hey, it's just a curiosity. I know I'm not the only one. But It's interesting. Certain things that you do, your research, you remember them in your head for like a long time, and this is one of them. Margo Dydek. I remember her name when I first looked up who was the tallest female professional basketball player of all time. It was her. So that's crazy. And she had 2 kids. And it's sad that she died while being pregnant with her 3rd child. Isn't that crazy? Like, someone who's that tall decided to become a mother, like being pregnant. Like, I'm pretty sure her kids are grown up now because she died in 2011. That's almost May 27th. That's almost 15 years ago. Okay. I wonder what her kids look like. I don't know. I think it's because. Wait, how did she die? Let's see. She was later taken by ambulance to a hospital and placed in a medically induced coma. She had been working as a coach for the Northside Wizards in the Queensland Basketball League. She never regained consciousness and died eight days later. I think it's because of her. It might be because of her height. That might be too much. And that her 3rd child, that's probably too much for the body. That was probably too much for the body to handle. Being pregnant for the 3rd time. So, yeah. Otherwise, she would probably still be alive. I don't know. Let me see. Let me look up her siblings. Are her siblings very tall, too? So, Kartazina, she's 6'7". So not as tall as Margo, but that's still really tall for a female. She's still alive. Yeah. And her younger sister, Marta, she's 6'5". Okay, so Margo has 2 sons. I don't know what they look like, but David and Alexander. That's her sons' names. Okay. Now let's look up the second tallest. Second tallest female basketball player. Who would that be? Whoa. Han Zhu, XU, I don't know how to pronounce her last name. 6'11", a Chinese center, widely recognized as the second tallest player in WNBA history. Is she still alive? I'm weird for saying that. Yeah. Oh, she's only 26. Wait, is she an active player? Wait, is she in the WNBA right now? She's a Chinese player. Han was drafted with the 14th overall pick in the 2019 WNBA draft. She represents the China women's national basketball team. Was she in the 2024 Olympics? I never knew about her until I searched this up. Oh my goodness. She's only just over a year and a half older than me. Okay. Oh, wow. She was with the New York Liberty in 2019. She sat out in 2020 due to the COVID pandemic. Then played again in 2022 and 2023. And then she joined the WNBL, the Women's National Basketball League. And now is back with the Liberty in 2026. Wow. Wow. I might have to watch some New York Liberty games just to see her. Hey, WNBA's coming up, right? Wait, don't they have their preseason? Has their preseason started? I'm sure she'll play in the preseason game. Let's see. Because I know WNBA's season is during the NBA's off season, just about. WNBA's preseason has begun. Oh wow, it actually began a couple days ago. All right, so wow, the second tallest player, the tallest active player, but the second tallest player of all time is with the New York Liberty. How amazing is that? Wow. Oh my goodness gracious. You know, there was a Chinese player named Yao Ming. Oh my goodness, he's 7'6". He's 7'6". Wow. It's crazy, man. Taller than Victor Wembanyama. He was taller than Victor Wembanyama. Okay, so I got to get going. But the last thing is we're going to read 5 Tayer's comment. 5 Tayer, if you listen to all this, let me know. Please let me know what you think. It would be nice if you comment on every episode, because you are the MVP of the channel. So, you put the last episode of KSN. I like to read the comments out loud because, why not? It's a podcast. Okay, so, I basically asked you about WrestleMania. If you watched the first hour of both nights, and you said, yeah, I watched some of the first hour of both WrestleMania nights, mainly that second match on night 1 though. Was that the Drew McIntyre against Jacob Fatu match? That was a pretty good match. Yeah, that was on free, the first hour of WrestleMania was on free television network. Okay. What are your thoughts on that? Were you entertained? And then you put, it's hard to remember, but I believe I watched night 2 of SummerSlam last year because it was Peacock's last. Aside from that, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I watched other events on there. Yeah. It's weird now that SummerSlam is 2 nights. It's like WrestleMania 2.0. So, Yeah, we all wish it's still on Peacock. We all wish it's still on Peacock. It was much more fun. It was better. Less commercials, obviously, and of course they had WWE's library where you can watch documentaries and a bunch of old events, but a lot of that stuff is on WWE's Vault's YouTube channel, which is great. But I mentioned before, I'm a fan of the old wrestling. I'm wearing my WCW Monday Nitro shirt because the other day was Monday. Trying to get back into watching old wrestling. I'm like a month behind, but I can only watch the YouTube clips because they don't have the full shows anymore. So that's a shame, but oh well. Better than nothing. Yeah, Peacock had a lot of WWE's library. But now Peacock only has WWE SmackDown. But hey, I'm going to keep Peacock because I'll probably use it sometimes. Not as much as YouTube TV. I've been on YouTube TV a lot because that's a lot more expensive than Peacock. So it makes sense that I'm using YouTube TV a lot more than Peacock. And you know what's kind of crazy? SiriusXM is actually more expensive than Peacock. But I do use SiriusXM more than Peacock anyways. So I guess it is kind of worth it. That's where I get a lot of my favorite podcasts are on SiriusXM. Oh, I forgot to put 5 Tayer's comment. I just put 5 Tayer. Anyways, so. Wow, this clip was over an hour and 7 minutes. The last clip was an hour and 41 minutes. So if I put the two clips together, which I don't think I'll be able to, probably not going to have the time because you know what time it is right now? It's 5:22 a.m. So unfortunately, once again, not going to get much sleep. If I put the two clips together, this episode would be about, oh my goodness, about 2 hours and 50 minutes. Jeez. This episode was almost 3 hours. No wonder. That's insane. That's crazy. I don't know about this. I mean, no, I don't want the episodes to be that long, but it is what it is. It's funny because earlier I did the on the clock. I had the timer. If I didn't have that timer, oh, this episode would be like another 3.5 hours. Just like me recapping WrestleMania 42. That was 3.5 hours. One last thing before I go. You know, those are considered like marathon podcasts. Well, so I have SiriusXM, like I mentioned, and I'm listening. So I like listening to. I've been listening to a lot of pro wrestling because I want to hear like everyone's thoughts on WrestleMania 42 and all that, and it takes a lot of time, right? It takes a lot of time, okay? And so the main shows I really listen to are Busted Open, Not Sam Wrestling, Off the Ropes with Jonathan Coachman, and Cheap Heat with Peter Rosenberg. That one's on once a week. The others are on almost every day. Well, I found some other ones that I never really got a chance to actually listen to a full show that are also pro wrestling related. Those are Grilling JR is Jim Ross. Jim Cornette's Drive-Thru. Jim Cornette was well known as a professional wrestling manager in the old days. And a few other more. Such as Talk is Jericho. Chris Jericho, I believe he's still an active wrestler. Well, he's probably not as active anymore because he's in his mid-50s. But wasn't there a rumor that he was going to leave AEW to come back to the WWE? But that never happened. Instead, he chose to come back to AEW. Well, Chris Jericho was also a rock star music singer. He had a band called Fozzy. And I remember I listened to a few of his songs and I'm like, wow, Chris Jericho's a great singer. Chris Jericho, he is an awesome wrestler and an awesome guy. So he has his own podcast called Talk is Jericho. I don't know if it's wrestling related or music, maybe both. Maybe his life. Talk is Jericho. It sounds like it's about his life. Then I found one called the Ruthless Aggression Podcast. That was an era in the WWE in the early to mid 2000s. So they talk about that era. I found another one called The Steve Austin Show. Stone Cold, the wrestler, he had his own podcast. And then another one called Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard. Yeah. Bruce Pritchard, he worked backstage with Vince McMahon. I don't know if he still does though. And then there's one with Chris Van Vliet. He has awesome wrestling interviews. He is the best. And pretty much all these podcasts, they have their own YouTube channel. Chris Van Vliet, he has his own YouTube channel. Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard also has a YouTube channel. And Grilling JR. It's funny because I found those podcasts about a year or two ago, and I never got a chance to actually listen to any of their shows. I might as well start listening to them, mainly their thoughts on WrestleMania 42. So yeah, I am a pro wrestling junkie, mainly the old wrestling, but I do like the podcasts. I mean, hey, I'm trying to get my money's worth out of SiriusXM, so yeah. There you go. There's just so many podcasts. It's kind of crazy. Alright, so this is a total of 2 hours and 55 minutes. It's funny because I started after 2:05 a.m. and now it's 5:27 a.m. The reason why, yeah, I did quite a bit of pauses of my recording because I was watching some of SportsCenter with Jay Onright. I didn't watch all of it though, but man, I don't know. Anyways, 5-Tayer, if you're still listening to this, that's kind of crazy that you took your time, because a lot of people, they don't want to listen to all this, and I get it. But I want to hear your thoughts, because this is a big episode anyways, so, yeah. Maybe next week. I was thinking about this week, you and I can do a call. You know, like a special edition of KSN. You and I talk about some sports. Because it's been, 4 months since the last time you and I did a call, which was actually our first time doing a call on an episode of KSN, which was episode 100 of us recapping the sports calendar year, which took a lot of time. But this week I changed my mind. I'm gonna watch some old NFL draft round ones. As of this recording, I already did one, but I haven't released that yet. I'm going to have to release it after episode 124. Okay? And then I'm going to do another one for tomorrow night, Wednesday night. I'll do another video of me watching an old NFL draft round one. Thursday will be the next episode of KSN. And I hope the next episode isn't going to be a giant one. And then Friday, I'm going to do, first time, me watching a video of me watching a sports movie called NFL Draft Day. Because I found that movie on Peacock and I'm like, you know what? I want to watch that movie. Why not? Because I think I've seen that movie like one time years ago, or at least some of it. I did something like this on the main channel of me watching the Super Mario Galaxy movie, and I think that went well. Didn't get any copyright claims. The video didn't get blocked, so that's great. So, yeah. And then I'll do another episode of KSN on Saturday, yeah. So how about 5 there, maybe sometime next week, we'll do a call on a special episode of KSN. And if we do it next week, then yeah, most likely it'll be another 3-week episode. Maybe we'll do it on Wednesday. Maybe Wednesday of next week. So, let me know what you think. Because you are the MVP. Yeah. I think it'll be exciting. And, yeah, because a lot of times pretty much every time, whenever I do a watching live stream of me watching sports, a lot of times you tune in. So that's cool. Yeah. All right. I believe that is about it. Wow. Now if I put the clips together, this will be 3 hours. But unfortunately, I'm not going to have the time to do that. So I'm going to have to, I guess, upload these clips separately. And here's the problem. My upload speed is so low, it takes a while for these clips to be uploaded. So I might not release these until the evening. Maybe not, I don't know. It might not take that long, but I don't know. Oh boy, unfortunately I'm not going to get much sleep. Hopefully this is the very last time, because I'll be honest, that I was watching the end of the Vegas Golden Knights Utah Mammoth game that ended late. Then I watched SportsCenter with Scott Van Pelt at 1 a.m. Okay, so that ended almost at 2 a.m. And then here I am recording this episode after 2 a.m. Normally I would watch Jay Onright at 2 a.m. and then after his show ends, I would record the episode at 3 a.m. Yeah, I know, it seems like every time I record a KSN episode, I'm not going to get much sleep. At some point, this needs to stop. So I think hopefully this will be the last time I'll stop this craziness that I'm doing. Because, yeah. Yeah. Hope you understand. Alright. So, this means I'm going to play the outro music if I can find it. And here it is. So yeah, it is a big week on this channel, NFL Draft Week, even though this year's draft is over, but you get what I'm saying. So yeah, join me later tonight for my first watching video. Peace out. This has been KSN.